us tonight. Next up, we have a special guest from the Notre Dame football team. You might not have heard of them, but you've almost definitely heard of their dads. Jack Nolan is with them in the Notre Dame studio. Jack?
Tricia, thank you. And I know you didn't write that either, but I bet you probably have heard of these three guys. I'm here with three Notre Dame freshmen who come from famous families. First, we are changing the order. Because I told the guys I've got an earpiece. I'm glad that they let me know. Jesse, you're now first. Jesse Bon Jovi. He's a defensive back from New Jersey. And apparently his dad is a musician of some kind. You see him up there?
I think that's him.
That's what you're told?
Yeah.
Do you like him with the hat?
Yeah, you know, that's a great hat. You know, got the old ND on there.
Now, I've seen him on the sidelines a number of games. I've never even told him this. I actually almost once knocked him over in the tunnel. I was running to the media room. He was coming down, and I bumped into a guy, and it happened to be John Bon Jovi. Thank goodness I didn't knock him over. When did he become a Notre Dame fan?
Well, he was a Notre Dame fan when Charlie Weiss started coaching here, and so his friendship with Coach Weiss kind of grew into, you know, my becoming a Notre Dame fan, and I wanted to come here, and I mean, it's just been sort of love ever since, you know.
Also with us, wide receiver Torrey Hunter Jr. His dad, naturally, Torrey Hunter Sr., has won a number of Gold Gloves and Silver Slugger awards in Major League Baseball. He's currently a right fielder with the Detroit Tigers. That's it. Do you have the same smile? Oh, it looks like you do. Boy, I mean, you guys, that is really quite a resemblance.
Pretty close, I would say.
Could you, probably still a little bit too, could you pass yourself off as him yet? Has that ever happened?
No, not yet.
Not yet. All right.
I gotta cut all my hair off first.
I know he's watching. That's terrific. And our third famous freshman is Corey Robinson, son of NBA All-Star David Robinson, the Admiral. That might not be the best picture. Has he ever had as much hair as you have right now?
I don't know. If he has, he's not telling me. Every day he tells me to cut this off, so I don't know.
All right, now, actually, it says here he's not. That's 7'4", isn't he?
No, he's 7'1".
7'1", but that's right. But he grew something like 6 or 7 inches between his freshman and sophomore years in college.
Yeah, he got in the Navy as 6'7", because that's the cutoff length, and then he grew 6 or 7 inches. When he was boxing and he broke his hand, and when they went to go fix it up, they noticed that his growth plates were still open, and he just grew like another 6, 7 inches after that.
All right, this is the summer between your freshman and sophomore. How big are you going to get?
I don't know, but if I grow 6 inches, that'd be awful. I can't have to buy all new wardrobe. I mean, my jeans won't fit.
Well, you know, I also do the men's basketball games. You want to play a little basketball?
Play a little basketball. I don't know. I'm not as good as Pops, that's for sure. That's why I chose football.
And what is it like? Well, first of all, I'm sure you've been asked all the time, what's it like to have famous dads? But when did you first discover, when did it become apparent to you that you had a famous dad? Let's start with Jesse.
Well, I mean, I think for me, you know, being a little kid and kind of going to shows and things like that, you know, when you're real little, it doesn't really click, you know. But I mean, I would say probably like 6 or 7 years old, you kind of start to figure out that like all these people and like that's my dad and like I wonder why they're here. And so you kind of start to figure out that it's like, oh, you know, he's kind of like somebody that people want to see, you know, do what he does. So I'd say probably 6 or 7 years old.
Torrey?
For me, I would say it's probably the same age. You know, growing up, you just see him as a father, and you don't really see the people that much. You always see him at home, you know, playing with you and everything like that. But once you get like 6 or 7, you start noticing all these people on his autograph, and you know, people seeing him on ESPN all the time making highlight plays, and you know, people start to admire him, and you see all that. So then you realize that your father's like, you know, somebody big and important.
Now, like on Family Day, when did you dress up in whatever baseball uniform your dad's team had?
I actually did. Yeah, I dressed up and everything. You know, I came to the stadium early. I would get my wrist taped, and I had the, you know, the game replica jerseys, and you know, they let us take BP on the little tees with the big red bats with the wiffle balls. So you know, we definitely got to have a great experience as kids growing up.
That's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
We didn't get to do that.
Well, they don't do that in basketball. They don't give you little basketball uniforms.
I remember, I don't really remember much about my dad playing because I was 8 when he retired. But I do remember being ball boys. That was the one thing they let us be. So I got to just like pass the ball to like Tim during warm-ups and stuff. but never like get my wrist tapes and nothing. I never get to see. Never got to do all the cool stuff
Warming up
behind the scenes.
So at 8, I mean, so when did you start going to games? 4, 5?
No, I was going to games when I was in my mom's womb. She was pregnant, taking me to road trips and stuff. Like me and my brothers were born into the game.
So 2, 3, you were still going.
Yeah.
So do you have images in your mind? Do you remember him now playing?
No, actually, I don't. I don't have any like memories. I only can think of the like they made DVDs of the championship. So I watched those, and I kind of remember those like walking with him like after the 03 championship, and you know like it was his last game, and I was wearing his jersey. Like I remember like little bits, but I don't remember like actually watching him play.
You know, I know I've mentioned this to you. I don't know if the other 2 guys, but communicating, being able to do what you're doing now is so important in life. And so many people can't do it, regardless of whether you go on to be professional athletes, entertainers, CEOs. Being able to get up in front of a group and being able to speak is really the key to success. It's going to make a huge difference. And that's what I've always loved about Notre Dame, is that virtually every athlete can do it. But you guys are all exceptionally good at it for your age. Do you think coming from a family that's always in the spotlight and seeing your dads and in some cases your moms do that, has that helped you be ready to do things like this?
Yeah, I would definitely say absolutely. When I was getting recruited, I never really got in front of the camera. I was always behind the camera and, you know, waving at dad and stuff. But then when I started getting recruited, they started asking me the questions, and I didn't really know how to respond. So me and my dad went through like a little training camp, media training camp, if you will. And he taught me all of his, you know, skills, like all the things that you need to understand as an athlete, like don't get yourself into a hole, you know, all these things. Just smart, common sense things that you would think. But a lot of people don't understand that once you're in front of the camera, you can't say whatever you want, you know. You're representing your school, your family. So it's a very big responsibility that requires a lot of preparation. So that's what I learned from my pops.
Tori?
For me, it was definitely 100% because I grew up watching my dad do interviews, and just seeing how comfortable he is in front of the camera, and that he shows his personality. What he is on the camera is what he is off the camera, and that's what I kind of try to do also. I don't want to seem like some different person on camera, or you know, try to put up a front so I can please everybody else. I want to be able to be myself, you know, crack a joke or smile a lot. So that's kind of what I took from him, you know, just be myself, you know, never try to like self-incriminate myself or anything like that. I don't want to, you know, talk down about anybody else, or I just want to speak about me and what I have to get better at and things like that. So I definitely thank my dad a lot for, you know, teaching me how to do interviews and different things like that.
Jesse, how has it helped you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of the same stuff that, you know, my dad has always just been big on, just sort of say what you think. You know, don't feel like you have to say, like, you know, just don't be nervous about it is really what he always has said is, you know, don't be pretending like you have to be someone else, or, you know, that you have to act a certain way. You know, it's just sort of be honest with yourself and be honest with who you're talking to. And then, I mean, the fact there's a camera on or whatever, you know, whatever it may be, doesn't really affect you if you're being honest with yourself and things like that.
Now, none of the 3 of you are doing the exact same thing your dads did. Tori, Corey, you guys, you're not playing the same sport, and you're going to major in business.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask you. I don't know if you can sing or not. But why?
I don't think so.
But did you want to go into the music business, or why you're not doing that?
Well, I took drum lessons when I was like 9 or 10. Did that for like 2 weeks. Wasn't very good at it. Couldn't get the foot thing going. And I took guitar for like 2 months maybe, and wasn't very good at it. And so it just wasn't really in the cards for me. And honestly, I'm a little bit of a kind of a little bit of stage fright when it comes to like big crowds. Like performing in front of a big crowd kind of freaks me out. So you know, I don't know. I just don't think that singing was ever really in the cards.
Forgive me for this, but this just popped into my head. But have you like ever been out on a date and the girl wants you to sing?
I've never been on a date before. No, I'm kidding.
Why do I find that hard to believe?
No, but like people have asked, like, oh, like, do you sing? Like, are you in a band or things like that? And,
You
like,
slam it down.
No. Like,
Did you play baseball ever, Tori?
I did, actually. I played all the way up until high school, and I actually got drafted by the Detroit Tigers.
That's right. I remember that.
Yes, sir. But, you know, ended up getting drafted in the 36th round because of my injury last January. I broke my femur. So, you know, baseball kind of got put on hold. But, I mean, hopefully Coach Kelly will let me pick it back up somewhere next year, maybe. But, you know, it was kind of tough letting that go because I haven't played since my junior year in high school. So.
football over basketball. Why?
Well, a lot of people ask me that question, and I always respond with the same answer. I really never had a choice. The only offer I got for basketball was a junior college. And when I said junior college basketball or Notre Dame football, it wasn't that hard of a choice. So,
injury-wise, you're the only one that's been injury-free so far.
yes.
So, I mean, you think...
Dangerous talk. Don't want to jinx it.
Well, so we probably shouldn't talk about that. What we'll talk about is, in the spring, probably embarrassing, I don't know if you heard this or not, but the coaches kept talking about you and how far you've come, which is a long way, because I know last fall they were talking about the whole team was surprised when you caught the ball and didn't fall down. So how far have you come since? I mean, I kidded you about this before, so I'm
just
but I mean, even Coach Kelly said that, and I mean, that's good-natured ribbing among sports. But talk about your development now. What's the next step for you?
Well, I think the next step is to become the leader the team needs me to be. You know, with TJ gone, and me and Torrey have a responsibility at the receiving core to step up. You know, we have some good guys on the team, but we don't really have a lot of like age. You know, we're a very young team, and we're looking for the guys to go to. So one of the things that we really need to work on is trying to be confident and knowing the scheme, and being out there and knowing that we can be the guys to make the play, not just like I did like once or twice a game last year. Being like the guys like TJ and DeVar, where you can make a play every time they need you to. That's the #1 thing that I'm trying to work on going into this summer.
And I know the coaches are delighted that they are beginning to see more and more of the real Torrey Hunter Jr. So what are you seeing for yourself this year?
For sure, I have to, do some more strengthening. And I get a little bit stronger, get a little bit bigger, and I have to dig more into the playbook, and so I can be that type of guy that can move around like TJ did and play in the slot position, play outside, maybe put me in the backfield. I don't know, but I have to grasp the playbook, develop as a player, totally the whole package. Route running, starting and stopping, defense, noticing defenses. So there's a lot of things that I could definitely work on over the summer before the season starts.
All right, and again, you got hurt a year ago, January. How frustrating has this been, playing baseball, playing football, always being active? And as you said, it's been like a year since you've been able to go full go. How hard's that been?
It's definitely, that was the toughest thing for me, watching everybody else play where I had to sit back. And that's something I've never done in my entire life until I broke my femur. I watched my whole senior season of baseball go by. We could have made it to state, and watching them lose in the playoffs, maybe I could have been that, that extra push to get us to state. And, watching that go by was pretty tough. Watching my dreams of getting drafted out of high school, to watch that go to waste was pretty tough. But, coming to Notre Dame was not a bad idea at all, to play football. And watching my whole freshman season of football go by, and watch all my, my fellow peers that I came here with, watch them all play and succeed, it was pretty tough also. So, I'm just waiting for my opportunity to get back on the field and play.
And Jesse, just a few weeks ago, you tore your ACL. I was talking with you before. You've still got the brace on. Get a little more movement in there. And they're hoping you can practice this summer. But have you ever had an injury like this before?
Yeah, my sophomore year of high school, I partially tore my ACL. So thankfully then I didn't need surgery and was able to get through the rest of high school pretty much injury-free. But everyone kind of said, like, look, eventually one day it's going to happen. You're going to tear your ACL. And so, I mean, you say thankfully, it didn't happen during the season, but it's rough that it happened, at all. But yeah, again, the hope is that I'll be back by August, and fingers crossed I'll be able to maybe get on some special teams, something like that, come fall. So that's kind of my goal right now, is just to get healthy and then be able to really help out as much as I can in any really way that I can.
Well, and certainly under Coach Kelly and staff, they don't waste walk-on status. I mean, you're on the team not only so you can help in practice and show a good look, but you're on the team because they think you may be able to earn a spot and play on a regular basis. Joe Schmidt right now, probably one of the great examples of that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you were a very good high school player. So what are you looking for? Torrey still won't tell me that he's 100%. I like that, because you got to come back slowly, and you never want to reveal your cards. But when do you think you're going to feel 100% again? What's it look like? I
mean, I don't know. I just started riding the bike, like, for real today. They had me kind of, it was funny, the first 2 weeks, you can't really bend it, things like that. And so there's a lot of, you'd go halfway around and then stop and then go halfway the other way, and that was like riding the bike. But so today, we kind of started moving it, and it's feeling a lot better. They're taking the brace off the end of the week, so I mean, hopefully, as it heals up, people keep telling me that I'm doing really well. So, I mean, I don't really know what the timeline is, but we'll see.
Well, gentlemen, a little longer than the average interview, but I appreciate you taking the time. Exams coming up next week. Good luck with those. And, folks, this is a great example of what a Notre Dame student-athlete is like. You see them on the field, you see them performing, but now you also see what they can do off the field. Really complete, total individuals, and I think all three are really going to make us proud in the coming years. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
I know they made their famous dads very proud already as well. Now